All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Citizen Council live stream. I'm here with Brandi Martindale.
Hello. We're live in real life.
In real life. We're waiting on Perry. I don't know where he is, but maybe he's stuck in traffic coming home from work. But yeah, how's everybody doing this week? This is weird. Normally we're video conferencing. So I'm going to ask.
I know. Now we're in real life. I'm doing pretty good. Had a great day. It's sunny where I live, and it is overcast and cloudy here in North Bend.
It is crazy cloudy or foggy, and it feels like San Francisco. I lived in San Francisco for a couple of years. This is very much reminds me of San Francisco. But yeah, this is odd. I've never interviewed someone like this.
I know. We're gonna have to do it more with people so we can practice.
But we've got some people here. We're trying to figure out what to do. I've kind of taken the past year and a half, 2 years to take a deep dive in Coos County and try and figure out what gives. You've got a jail that isn't available for housing criminals. You've got prosecutors that not that they're necessarily not doing their job, but they're handcuffed and they're not able to do their job. There's not enough of them. So there's a public safety crisis, and that was kind of my focus. But as you deep dive down, so you take that one issue, you go down the rabbit hole, it all goes back to there's no conservative stronghold in what apparently is like a 2/3 majority conservative county. There's no structure, there's no organization, there's no support. So say Brandi here gets elected as commissioner on a conservative platform. Not saying that you would, but it just an example. Or if I had, I ran for commissioner about a year and a half ago. Say I was elected, I would have been on my own. And from what it seems like, my path, I would have been fighting with so-called conservatives around here. I would have been fighting with registered Republicans on city councils and within the Republican Party leadership, because for some reason, even though I'm very strongly aligned with the Republican Party platform, they don't seem to be.
Well, the problem is they're not aligned with the Republican Party platform.
Right.
They're not honoring meritocracy. They're not honoring democracy. So it's kind of hard to work with a Republican Party that doesn't behave like a Republican Party.
It is strange. I mean, the first time I had met some people who were running for office, they mentioned the Republican Party platform. And I'm like, I didn't even know there was a platform. So they hand me this document. It's 18 pages. I start reading it, and I was like, this is great stuff. And then from that point forward, I go to city council meetings, and whether it's an urban renewal issue or a public safety issue, you can open up this 18-page document, kind of like a Bible, find the right verse, and there's your formula. It tells you exactly this is how conservatives should feel on this issue. And and then you can ask yourself, am I in the right? Am I wrong? Not that you have to follow it exactly to a T, but if that is something that you stand for and you present that to other people, hey, I'm Republican, then you kind of should be aligned with that. And follow its structure.
And so when we talk about Democrat and Republican, that's a really hard line, right? We have a huge portion of people who fall somewhere in the middle. And neither Democrat nor Republican Party, definitely not the Republican Party, is reaching any of those people. And so we do really need a financially conservative movement. I think the vast majority of people in Coos County don't care how adults choose to live as long as they don't have to pick up the bill. We want to see fiscally conservative policy. I think the vast majority of people in Coos County respects individual liberties and want to see everyone treated equally, for the most part, to the extent that, you legally can enforce it. No one's wanting anything unconstitutional. We just want real, conservative finances, I think.
Well, and you can take these two, so take abortion and gay marriage, two very, very polarizing issues. They're national issues. They're nothing that Coos County can do.
They don't concern us here. They really don't.
They might affect us. We're Americans. We're Oregonians. but we're also talking Coos County politics. Like the Coos County Democrat Party or Republican Party should be focused really on Coos County politics.
Right.
And abortion and gay marriage just aren't Coos County politics. There's no one on a city council or a county commissioner or the sheriff that can do anything about those issues. You know, the sheriff can't outlaw abortions.
Right.
So it's really not something. We could support some sort of national cause if we felt strongly about it, but really we need to open the door to Coos County conservatives, right? Like,
yes,
you should be able to be like, let's call it like an American liberal, but a Coos County conservative. So you mentioned like fiscally conservative. If someone is like matches on a Coos County level with the conservative values and ideas, but maybe on a national level, when they're talking national politics, things like abortion and gay marriage, maybe they lean a little left.
Opinions, right.
We need to be accommodating to that because those people are being left out of this conversation, and they're people who can add value to it and can help because they do want to see Coos County be fiscally conservative.
Right.
They just, you know,
right.
Does that?
It makes perfect sense. There's a lot of people out there who don't have they don't want to take away necessarily the right to abortion. They just don't want to pay for people's abortions. And that's a reasonable opinion. There's people who don't have a problem with abortions, but are against third trimester abortions. Again, that's a reasonable opinion when you're talking about there's a possibility for preservation of life, and they respect that. That's a reasonable opinion. I think as an individual saying that you don't think people can get gay married, well then, or should do that, then don't do it. Like, don't get gay married. Like, mind your own business. And that, when you talk to people in this county, that's kind of the general, like, yeah, you're going to come across the occasional asshole, but like, where don't you? That doesn't mean that the county is bigoted. I ran into more racists in New York City than I ever have here. And if people don't believe me, come visit. It'll be fun.
Let's go on a road trip to New York City. It's definitely like when I go to like the Democrats, they have these rallies like every 2 weeks at the boardwalk. I go there. A lot of these polarizing issues are all national.
They are. We don't have any control over them here, and they don't really affect our larger social life here.
And we're missing, like, half those people at these rallies might actually agree with us when we're talking about, say, urban renewal and like taxing policies. They might be opposed to property tax. They might actually be opposed to big government and want limited government. They might be seeing what the current administration that is Republican led, they might think of that as like too intrusive. So they might actually agree with us as a conservative having beliefs in small government, and we could work together on that locally to bring the power back to the people and take it away from the government. It's like, those are the things we need to focus on. So
I think they distract us with national issues on purpose so that we don't pay attention to the fact that, what is the state doing with all of our money? They shut down all of our mental institutions. I've looked for budget information, and I actually did a decent dig, and I even tried wielding some AI, and I could not find the Multnomah County roads budget. I couldn't find information on how much money each county pays into the roads, the statewide roads budget, and how much each county is then allotted.
I don't know if the counties pay into it. I'm not that familiar, but I believe
so the taxes that are collected.
Right, like we pay the taxes. But it's like gas tax is what's given to us. None of the property taxes go to the state.
So I didn't mean property taxes specifically. So all the counties pay in to the pot, and then the pot is divided back up, and the counties
The county collects the property tax, and it does not go out, like, it stays at the county level.
Right, but there's a bunch of other, there's
Right, those all go,
taxes,
yes.
There's all kinds of other
Okay,
taxes.
okay. You mean like the county people?
Yes.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Right.
It's confusing.
So the counties collect money that the state snatches away, and then the state goes, here's your scraps. And they give a little bit back to the counties. I tried to find out how much money is coming in from each state and how much money goes, or each county. and how much money goes back to each county. Because I wanted to know, are some counties, like is Coos County not paying in very much money, and then we're actually getting more than we pay out, you know what I mean, more than our fair share? Or is Multnomah County devouring the entire state budget for their fucking bike lanes?
It would be interesting to know. I've looked at it for like school districts and the college because they have an equalization formula that's kind of similar to what you're talking about, and we actually benefit from that. They take those other areas collect a lot of tax dollars, and then we get more than our fair share because we're a rural county.
So it can be that way where maybe we're getting more than we
But we
pay
don't
in.
have freeways and things like that. I would think Multnomah gets a lot of cash for roads.
Sure, so you'd have to look at like what the overall expenditures are on, and like what are discretionary expenditures, or like what, you know, infrastructure versus new development, all kinds of stuff has to happen into it. I couldn't find any data to even start with though. And I was surprised by that. I thought that Coos County is very transparent. And there was one other county, I can't remember, it was not a super familiar name to me, that seemed to be very transparent with their budget.
I'll have to look into it. I wanted to give a shout out to Cheryl Armstrong. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
You're always with us. She said she missed the beginning. Where are you guys? We're in North Bend at an undisclosed location. We're planning some events, and we just didn't want it to get out of hand. But we will have something in a couple weeks. I'm advocating for next week, but we'll see how it goes. And where we, you know, it'll be wide open. Let anybody come and just talk solutions, talk fixes. You know, what can we do and network and get people together and try and figure stuff out. So
We can have a conversation about what we want Coos County to look like.
Yeah, I'm sticking straight up. Yeah, like what do people want? You know, like we ask this question a lot, but like we really need to like answer the question and then execute.
We know we want something different, like, and I ask that because people always bring up the timber industry. I am a child of a logger, the daughter of a logger, and I can tell you that it's terrible work. People don't want to do it anymore, and for good reason. And frankly, we have machinery that is, we just don't need the manpower anymore. And there are other materials that compete with wood products, and so I don't see that industry realistically coming back. I know that probably ruffles some feathers, but it's the truth. People don't really want to do these jobs. My dad is disabled after a career in the logging industry. So I think just, you know, thinking hard about what do we want for our community, and then so we're all working towards that same vision and goal, you know.
Working together.
I mean, do we want to become a shipping community where we get this port put in? Because if we want that port put in, we need the infrastructure to support its development, right? And
my quick deep dive into the port stuff revealed that it was not going to be as promising in terms of jobs and financial income, but we'll see. So we're at 15 minutes, and we're only going to be live for half an hour because then we're going to brainstorm with some people. But I wanted to go around the room and see if anybody here wants to, answer some questions and join our podcast. So I'm going to open it up. Does anybody want to be on the live stream?
Just have them take my spot.
Okay. We got.
Who's next?
Anybody want to be on the live stream? We got 15 minutes. Does anybody want to interview and answer questions about what we're getting? No.
Rob
Okay.
doesn't have anything to say. That's hard to believe.
Rob Taylor is giving a shout out to his sponsor, Herbal Choices, and he does not want to be on camera right now. He's had some gummies. There you go. You sure? Anybody? I don't want to shout names. No? All right. I guess it's just going to be us.
Well, they're all chowing down on their delicious burgers and whatnot. They're over there shaking their head. Yeah, they are delicious.
Everybody just got dinner. And no, we need to have more events like this. I was part of organizing this. I just felt like we don't have enough social events. We don't have enough hanging out, sort of getting to know one another. Like there's, we had a Republican meeting last week that was just super tense and crazy. And we've had, a lot of them have been like that. And it's because the groups don't like commingle. Like we don't do any sort of like fun stuff together.
Well,
like,
it's not going well because there's a bunch of corruption. I
That
mean,
too.
there's a bunch of tension because there's a bunch of shady, nefarious things going on. You can tell when everybody is doing what they are supposed to be doing and telling the truth, people seem to get along, and there's not a lot of like, the vibe is pretty chill. But when people are doing shady things, that's what you're going to get.
Or when you like look into the finances and the whole Republican Party is broke. I mean, it's insane. I didn't know it was that bad. I knew somebody had mentioned a couple months ago that they're, I think like in May or April, somebody mentioned that the Democrats had brought in like $10,000 and we've brought in like 200. And I just figured it was like a rough start to the year. And now you look, and the Republican Party has only brought in $1,300 this year. The Democrats have brought in $42,000. I mean, money's not everything, people, but
No,
that's
but money
like,
buys
wow.
commercials, it buys signs, it buys canvassers. If you know, a lot of people will volunteer, but like it buys airtime, and so it does matter. That money can go to support people who are campaigning.
I'm trying to get the graphic up. That's why she's stalling. There you go, people. So if you want to know what we're talking about, I mean, that's right. Like they use that money during the election to put together commercials. They have pretty professionally done commercials for the North Bend School Board.
They were nice. They were good commercials.
And SWAT candidates that they were supporting. And they put them out there. You can see all this. If you type in Orstar, you can see how much money came in, who it came in from, and what it was spent on. So you could like look and drill down to a specific North Bend school board member's campaign, and you can see like Facebook or what says Meta, but Meta Inc. is Facebook, and you can see that money was spent on advertising on Facebook, and they did it. They had money coming into the Democrat Party, which then supported candidates, and then not included in this graph is South Coast Forward, which is a political action committee, and it mostly supports Democrats, and they had like $15,000 this election cycle, somewhere in that realm, and it's like they supported all the same candidates, and it was effective. Money didn't win that entire election, but I cannot imagine it didn't.
Well, listen,
help.
24% voter turnout. That means if we're being generous, 12 to 15% of conservatives voted. So that means 12 to 15% of the conservatives in this county are deciding our livelihood.
Yeah. Well, and I've always thought about like if you were elected, like say I was elected, I would go into it knowing that, right? That hey, only a quarter of the people in this county elected me. And actually, no, like if I only won by about 50% or even a super majority, 60%, you're talking like, right, what did you say? Like 15% of people support you, like officially support you.
That can't feel good.
You gotta, you can feel great about that, but like go into your position knowing that there is 85% of the public out there that either doesn't support you or did not take the time to even care about your position. And you need to go out there and do outreach and talk to those people and figure out why didn't they vote? Why are they disenfranchised? Why don't they feel involved in government? What are they? And learn about those people. So if you sit on a city council, or if you're the sheriff, or you're the county clerk, or a commissioner, talk to people more, because you're only getting a tiny bit of the picture.
Yeah.
And that just drives me nuts. Like
it is. It's
the arrogance.
The people don't make their voice heard. I see people complain all day on Facebook, and you can always tell the ones that don't vote because they get really defensive when I talk shit about it on the internet. And they always have, what do you want? Like, if you don't vote, you go, election integrity. Listen, I don't think anybody here in Coos County is like stealing all the conservative votes.
Just a couple of them.
Like, I really don't think that there's like a whole bunch of like fraud here, election fraud here in Coos County. Y'all just didn't send your ballot in.
Right, like that's the biggest fraud, right? Is that
have a little.
we didn't vote. as a county, we did not vote.
Like, take some, accountability and recognize that we have to be a little bit more. You gotta be involved enough to at least Google search these people's names. And if you don't know, maybe ask somebody. But here's the real key. You don't have to fill in every bubble for every single thing for your ballot to still count. If you don't want to vote for the people or for the positions that you can't find any information for, you can leave those blank. You shouldn't, but you can. And it's better that you turn in a partially filled in ballot than no ballot at all.
And yeah, so people bear some of the responsibility, but also there are organizations that are supposed to be like the Republican Party that are supposed to be out there organizing the conservative movement, supporting the conservative movement, supporting our current conservative leaders, and helping them. Like maybe there's someone on a city council, say North Bend, who is Republican, and they're not really voting Republican right now.
Sick of the Democrat shit.
But what I'm saying, like, we need to support them and help them understand, like, hey, you're not quite like let's have a meeting. You're not quite following the party platform. Is it because you disagree with it? Is it because you don't feel supported? Do you feel like politically you have to go along with the rest of the school board? How can we help you with that? Would it help if we got another person elected? Would that change things? Would it help if more of us showed up at the meetings and like cheerleaded for the 1 out of 7 vote that you're going to be the opposing vote? Like, that's the sort of talking we need in collaboration. We're not getting it.
And people that want to collaborate on solutions that are going to improve the quality of life, especially with crime. People work really hard to have the things that they have. And I feel like it's kind of a pot shot that is taken like, oh, you value stuff over someone's life. People work really, really hard to have the things that they have. And I mean, call that materialistic if you want to, but it really sucks to realize that you have to pay thousands of dollars in deductibles to get something back that some tweaker that the state let out, some mentally ill person who got addicted to drugs is usually how a tweaker happens, right? They let these people all out, and now they're out terrorizing our neighborhoods.
I mean, it's not even just like that. The little annoying crimes are pretty bad too. But you have car thefts.
That's what I mean.
Big
Yeah, definitely.
thieving rings and burglaries going on all over, and they're not. No dig on law enforcement, but it's just not being handled properly. And there are a variety of reasons why, but no one's really tackling it on a county-wide level.
Exactly. It's like nobody in our county is sitting there saying, hey, they lose their drug treatment because they lose their OHP when they go to jail. Here's an idea. Bring adapt into the jail. And it's not a harebrained idea because there's a couple of people on board to look like we're gonna start making calls and actually
and they had money to do it.
And they have money to do it.
Settlement fund going towards stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it got lost, but
and so when people come to our city leaders, they are open to ideas, but people do have to understand that not every idea will work. So don't, bring your ideas forward, and we can't shame them.
Unless it's one of our ideas, then they have to work. You have to listen, right?
Factious.
Anyway,
I think they call you a Nazi.
I don't know. Somebody stood up and wanted to be on. But the other thing I wanted to, so the Republican Party, if we get into, I don't want to get totally into the weeds about it, but you have a Republican Party that has 198 positions. And this is like something run by the clerk's office. This is like an official position that you can run for and be on a ballot that's printed countywide. It's called a precinct committee person. And there's 198 of these positions countywide. And there's currently only 48 that have been filled. So there's 150 vacancies. So like, think of it as a city council. Imagine most city councils have 7 positions, one of those being the mayor. Imagine like if the city of Coos Bay had the mayor and 1 city councilor, and that's it. There's 5 other vacancies. But the mayor does not want to hold an election. They do not want to appoint new city councilors. The clerk's office wants nothing to do with it. No one will allow new city councilors to be appointed, even though at every meeting you have citizens screaming and yelling that they want to be involved in government They have a right to be there. They have a right to be involved and to have a say especially because there are vacancies and they are handing applications to be appointed to those positions and they're being denied. Imagine if that happened at the city of Coos Bay. People would be outraged, absolutely outraged. There'd probably be lawsuits. Yet that is exactly what's happening in our Republican Party. There are 3 out of every 4 PCP positions are available. No one
they won't let anyone in.
They won't let anybody
because
in.
They know that when people come in, they're going to vote them out. And they should, because they're incompetent. Listen, you guys failed at whatever job. I don't know what the job duties of a chair are, but I'm pretty sure it's to bring in more than what, $1,300, $1,800.
Yeah, I mean, when I go to the state level conventions, it's very clear that the chair alone is responsible or bears the responsibility. They can obviously collaborate and help get everybody to help, but you bear the responsibility for fundraising. That is one of your number one responsibilities.
The job is to get people elected.
Yeah.
The job is to get conservatives, I guess Republicans, if you really want to be on the nose about it, elected. And they're not doing it.
Let's say somehow you had an amazing situation where you could do it without money, right? You didn't need money. Great. But we're not doing that either. We're not electing Republicans. We're not supporting them in any fashion as a Republican Party. And I say we because I am the vice chair. But,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they could be doing
And
this.
the thing is, we all know
Yes.
that leftists pay people to attend events. Kind of well-known things. Sometimes it's peaceful, and sometimes it's mostly peaceful, right? But it's like, why don't Republicans understand that they could pay for rallies? You could have events where, like, that are actually fun with people who like each other and like.
I was just at a summer party and they had a live band playing and it was $300 for 3 hours. How reasonable is that? And it was awesome. Like, we should be doing that. You know, like maybe not every month, but like we should. Like, it's called a Republican Party. Where's the party?
Yeah.
So that maybe that should be like a slogan. Let's put the party back in the Republican Party. Because it's been,
I kind of love that.
It's been crazy lame, you know, like, you know, shit on the Democrats all people want, but like they're doing a kick-ass job. They're fundraising, they're getting people excited, they're doing rallies, they have book clubs, happy hours, meetings that are well attended, well organized. They're getting candidates elected. I mean, and they're doing it as a minority party in Coos County.
A minority party across the country.
I mean, based on who I interact with, they do, yes, very much seem the minority. But because of the way people vote and who votes,
yes,
it's balanced nationally. It's, you know, 50-50 right on the brink. But anyways.
It's amazing that the conservative movement even exists when you look at how much money has been put into funding each. You can see that the conservative movement itself exists organically because it doesn't require billions of dollars to still fail to get someone elected.
I mean, there are specific people that without them, I think we would not have a Republican majority nationally. Like, I think Charlie Kirk and some other huge influencers in the Republican conservative sphere. They did just enough to tip the balance and get a full, what we have for both the Senate, the House, and the presidency. I mean, that's was not expected. I don't believe. I mean, I'm sure people wanted it on the conservative side, but
there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the past
expected.
5 years. The 4 years leading up to the election, I think shook people to their core.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
the
just
whole shutdown, man, that was
there
eye-opening.
were some come to Jesus moments where, like, you know, watching a dude get a gold medal for beating the shit out of a woman was that kind of like did it for me. And then learning about SheWon.org and how many women really have lost trophies, awards, scholarships.
It's insanity. It's absolutely insane.
it's so morally abject, you know?
Well, we're on a national issue, and it should be a local. But actually, that can become local. I mean, you should have resolutions
They've tried
passed
to
by
bring
the
that
school
shit
board.
local.
They have had transgendered people, like people born men, trying to compete in women's sports locally here in Coos County. And so it's definitely something that the school board should be able to control. It's something that the county, at the county level, they should be able to control. But we need to have leaders that feel supported enough to do that publicly. Because right now they feel like if they were to come out about that, for some bizarre reason, they would be nervous and they would get attacked.
When I first started doing this, I was terrified. Like, lost sleep, was sweaty. It was really, really scary because you're like, people can be so vicious. Now, I think my skin thickened up a little bit. It's a combination of me deciding that I'm just not going to give a fuck about it, and it's also the outpouring of support. I think people may be very surprised to discover the support they receive when they speak out about stuff like this.
For sure. And we need to all like do a part and support anyone who speaks out and starts something. Like, if I have respect for anybody, even if I disagree with your actual like point, as long as you're making it and you have a conviction about it and you have facts to back it up.
And a thought process behind it.
Yeah.
You're not just parroting something that someone told you. Yeah.
People like that
Yeah.
need support, no matter
Yeah.
what really they're
Critical
saying.
thought.
Yeah. Like well thought out, well researched ideas. Well, it's 6:32 and we got to get going.
Okay.
But did you have any one last thing?
And on that note, thank you to everyone who has come out and expressed their support as I've been doing this. It took a lot of deodorant to get me here, but we've powered through. And we're here, and we're going to keep going. So, thank you.
Appreciate it. You can send your deodorant donations to P.O. Box. No, I'm kidding.
I only wear Old
This was
Spice.
cool. We should do that. We're going to try and do this more often and do more live in person. I think maybe we'll do the event we're planning here. We'll do it on a Wednesday so that people can join our live stream. That would be really cool. I thought it would happen here, but this is kind of more like a low-key setting. But anyways, appreciate everybody who's watching. You got a short one this week, so congratulations. You're welcome. And we will see you next Wednesday right here at 6 p.m. Thanks, everybody. We're getting applause.